here you can see pictures of Congress workers, youth Congress workers staging protests at the BJP headquarters in the capital. And this, in fact, is a protest being staged by the Congress workers, youth Congress workers, against the attacks that the BJP has been making against the Prime Minister. Remember, the BJP has repeatedly demanded the resignation of the Prime Minister in connection with the coal block allocation scam, even though Law Minister Ashwini Kumar recently resigned after the controversy of the CBI's coal scam report, which was taken up by the Supreme Court, which in fact had pulled up both the CBI and the government. The BJP has been saying it is not enough for the Law Minister to go, that the Prime Minister, who was in charge of the coal portfolio from 1996, from 2006, I beg your pardon, to 2009, also needs to go. And in fact, the Congress workers now staging protests outside the BJP office in the capital against those attacks that the BJP has been making against the Prime Minister. You can in fact see those flag-bearing Congress workers staging a protest outside the BJP headquarters in the capital, returning the compliment in a sense, because we have seen youth BJP workers in the last few days repeatedly staging protests in the capital, even trying to march to the Prime Minister's residence just a few days ago, demanding the Prime Minister's resignation over the coal scam. And the Congress, in a sense, retaliating today with its youth workers staging similar protests against the BJP's attack on the Prime Minister. Of course, the Prime Minister has come in for very, very personal attacks by the BJP in connection with the coal allocation scam, with the BJP saying that the Prime Minister was in charge of the coal portfolio from 2006 to 2009, and this is the period which is in fact under the scanner. It is during this time that several questionable coal block allocations were made by the government in a non-transparent manner, and therefore the buck stops with the Prime Minister. The blame cannot be shifted to anyone else. That has been the stand of the BJP. And now, in protest against those attacks that we've seen the BJP making on the Prime Minister, you now have the Congress youth workers taking to the streets. For more on that, let's now go across to my colleague Rahul Srivastav, who joins us on the phone line. Rahul, as I was saying, this is in a sense the Congress returning the compliment. In the last few days, we've seen BJP protesting, demanding the resignation of the Prime Minister, and now you have the Congress youth workers protesting against the BJP.
Yeah, it's not just the BJP, the congressmen returning the BJP's attacks on the Prime Minister. Just a couple of days ago, the BJP's Yuva Morcha leader, Mr. Anurag Thakur, and his activists had actually tried to gherav the Prime Minister's residence. And they had staged a very noisy protest, and the police had to ensure that the Prime Minister's residence, which is one of the most secure places in the country, remains unaffected. And it is perhaps the congressmen trying to show that if the BJP can, why can't the Congress? And they have, it seems that they have timed their arrival at the BJP headquarters pretty well, because it seems that they seem to know that Mr. Rajnath Singh, Mr. Arun Jaitley, Vasundhara Raje Scindia are planning a press conference at the BJP headquarters at 1 o'clock. And given the fact that the leaders are yet to come, this assumes significance that one will wonder whether how will the leaders arrive for the press conference. But the fact is that it is something which earlier, say a decade ago, never used to happen in Indian politics. That there used to be demonstrations, but there were specific zones where the demonstration would happen. But parties never used to attack each other's headquarters in terms of demonstrations. But this is a trend which has started over the last few years. And it seems now that the Congress party also has woken up and is trying to register its protest against the manner in which the BJP one has been attacking the Congress top leadership. Not only that, but has been demonstrating at the Congress's establishment, like be it the Congress office or the Prime Minister's residence.
Right, Rahul, in fact, as we speak, we can see pictures of, we told, at least 200 protesters who've gathered outside the BJP headquarters in the capital. There is heavy police presence. Water cannons are also on standby. Of course, one would hope that these protests remain peaceful. Rahul, as you mentioned there, this does indicate a new trend in politics, as it were, with the Congress and the BJP staging these kind of protests against each other, taking to the streets. And this is also indicative in many ways of the standoff that we've seen between the two parties, especially on the issue of corruption, the kind of logjam that we've even seen in Parliament, with session after session being completely washed out. So this does, in a sense, indicate that there really, at the moment, seems to be no way ahead.
Neha, it's not a crisis in terms of a way ahead. It is basically extremely competitive politics where there is a breakdown of relationships between the government and the opposition. And be it inside Parliament, where we saw that session after sessions are getting washed out, and there has been extreme agony for the chairs in both the houses. And not only the problem that there have been disruptions, continuous disruptions, but it seems that there is no effort on any side to actually unwind or step back and see what exactly needs to be done or start getting to the negotiating table. And this crisis is going to heighten as elections get closer. If you see, just day before yesterday, the Congress has launched its media had pledged virtually preparing for elections any time, be it in 2014 or maybe earlier. And also the BJP also realizes that the elections are crucial, and it has to keep pressing the point that this is a government which is in a sense of disarray. So both the narratives are clashing right now. And in this clash, there seems to be no conversation between the two. And it again raises a question that with 2 and 3 very crucial pro-public Aam Aadmi legislations in the pipeline, what's going to happen to the next session of Parliament? And that is why there is talk of ordinances, which actually means that there is a complete sense of breakdown. With Rajasthan and other states going to elections. In fact, today's press conference will be a BJP's counter to the naming of the leader of opposition of the BJP in the Rajasthan Assembly, Mr. Gulab Chand Kataria, who was the Home Minister at the time of the Sohrabuddin encounter. He has been named by the CBI in the charge sheet as the second high-profile BJP politician after Gujarat Home Minister Mr. Amit Shah. So one can see the confrontation on virtually every issue and a breakdown.